classic, isn't it? For proper musical fans, this one is up there as one of the best. It's got the songs, it's got the loincloths, and a seriously funky coat. Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat is on a big UK tour that has come to Northampton this week. It's at the Derngate. Joseph is played by Joe McElderry. The narrator is played by Lucy Kay. Welcome both.
Hello.
Hey. And I say loincloths, I'm told, Joe, that you spend most of the time in just a loincloth.
Well, I started rehearsals and I thought, it's funny for one scene, I sing Close Every Door on the Loincloth, and we started doing all the fittings for the costumes, and they were like, and this one, and this loincloth, and this top, and then you'll have no top on here. I was like, so basically for the whole show, I'm pretty much got no clothes on, except a tiny little silver loincloth. So yes, I have to ramp up the fitness and healthy eating, and I'm trying.
So, Lucy, did you know Joseph before you started appearing in it?
It was my childhood, and I sang along to it, but little did I ever think that I would be the narrator one day. It had always been kind of like one of my favourite musicals. I didn't actually realise how many words there actually were in it either. But it has been brilliant to kind of live out my childhood, dream.
Well, we say narrator, and that kind of, if you haven't seen it, people might think, oh, narrator, she just says, well, coming in from stage left. But narrator is a big part, isn't it?
Yeah, I never really leave the stage. I'm constantly there. They all can't see me, the cast. I'm kind of like the guardian angel figure, and I sing the entire show, basically.
She has the hardest job. She does have the hardest job. We've got to give her credit. She doesn't leave the stage for the whole show.
So how long did it take you to learn the lines?
Well, I only had about a week. Possibly two. It was difficult, and so were the colours. I think you struggled with the colours as well.
It's quite. I was just saying to somebody out in reception, was asking about the show and how do you remember all the lines. It's one of them shows. It's very intense, and each scene has got so many words about that. It's quite. I've never experienced it. I've done a lot of shows. I've never experienced it, and what you find is your brain starts to go, I don't know this, as your mouth is singing the words. It's this autopilot thing, and it really freaks me out. It happens quite. I think it's because the schedule's so intense as well, that maybe we're kind of just like, we're doing it without realising, but I'll start to have these moments and I'm like, oh my god, what's the next line? And before you know it, it's come out of your mouth. It's really strange, I can't explain it.
And I suppose with musicals, you can't really have prompts, can you?
No, you can't.
No, you can't. Are you allowed a headset, anything like that?
Nothing. So. We have obviously an MD who's in the pit, but that's purely based around the music, and the kind of cues and coming off vocally together and things. But in terms of like, I touch wood, I'm really touching wood. Nothing's gone majorly wrong yet. Everybody's like professionals. They've done it for years and kind of knows how to get out of them situations. But it's been pretty plain sailing so far.
And it was your first night in Northampton last night, but you've been on tour for how long?
Gosh, since
February, was it?
Since the start of February, yeah.
And so where's been your favourite place so far? I mean, obviously Northampton.
Obviously.
Of course. We've been to some really cool places, actually. We'd spent a couple of weeks up in like Leeds and Manchester area. The audiences were amazing up there. Went down to Oxford, which was a beautiful city. We're going to a few nice places. Brighton we're going to.
Buxton Opera House.
Yeah. It's been to some really, really nice places. York last week, which was beautiful.
And Joe, obviously we can tell from your accent, we know you're from South Shields anyway because of your time on the X Factor. Lucy, you're from Nottingham, are you?
Yeah, well, I was born in Leicester and then moved to Nottingham.
Don't say you're a Leicester City fan, they're everywhere.
But I mean, it did go wild, didn't it? Kind of broke the internet.
So have either of you done your hometown yet?
No, we haven't, have we? We're doing Sunderland, which is literally like a 5-minute drive from where I live, so that's coming up, and it's my birthday that week as well. So
so you have all the family there.
Yeah, they've all been already. Actually, I don't know, they're not sick of it yet. They've been about 9 times already. But I think that's another thing about this show. You can come numerous times and you see different things every time you watch it, because there's so much going on stage. In like the rock and roll scene with the Elvis kind of take off, and like I see things even on stage sometimes like, oh my god, I didn't even realise that was happening. So it's a really full on, but it's great. It's a great show.
And Joe, you obviously, people know you from the X Factor and from your singing time as well. So which do you prefer, the singing and the touring as Joe McElderry, or the performing in something like Joseph?
They're very different. I mean, and you get totally different things from both of them. For example, when I'm touring on my own, I love the audience participation of being able to talk to the audience and involving them in my show. And then I love this side of things where you're on stage with a cast and everybody's singing together in like vocal. It just gives this kind of like vocal power and kind of strength, like when you're singing with a big group of people. So I'm going straight onto my tour after this, so it's nice that I still get to do both, and kind of flip between the two.
So how much of a break will you have?
I've got a little bit of time off in the summer, and then I've got most of September off, and then I go from October right through November of my show right around the country again. So.
And Lucy, you're a soprano, aren't you?
I am, yes.
And you did Britain's Got Talent.
Yes.
So you kind of got that in common with the
talent show,
the talent show kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you meet a lot of people that have done the similar thing, or?
Yeah, quite a bit actually. I've got a lot of friends that have done the talent shows, but then have gone into kind of musicals or things. It just opens doors that wouldn't really, I don't think, would be possible for us if we hadn't trained in that particular area. Like, I'm very, very fortunate to be able to do something now that I absolutely adore and I've always wanted, because I did train in opera, and but there was always a part of me that wanted to do musical theatre as well, but I couldn't really do both. It would take me years. I'd be in past my 30s.
Yeah. These kinds of shows are great platforms, and actually people go on about the industry. The industry is such a small little world and everybody knows everybody. And before you know it, you bump into somebody that has worked with somebody that you worked with last week or something. It's such a small world.
And so, Lucy, with soprano and stuff, with opera, will you go back to opera, do you think? Or is kind of musical theatre where you're going to go to now?
Yes, I do. Obviously, I've done it since I was 7, so it's a very big part of my life and something that I have grown up doing and love. I've got a few of my concerts coming up at the moment, and hopefully we're going to do another kind of album soon with classical crossover stuff. But I would really like to stick with the musical theatre and hopefully do more, because I think I love being with a cast. It's very different to being on stage on your own. As much as I love that, I think I love being with people a lot more.
Well, I am told from people who went to see it last night that you both have got fantastic voices.
Thank you.
What happens if they go a little bit, if you get a croak? Because if you're doing a show and it's a tour, you can't really do much.
Yeah, touring in general anyways is all about keeping yourself well enough to be able to do the shows, I drink honey and lemon, and I find that doing a lot of exercise actually helps. But we do have fantastic understudies that are ready literally at any point in the show to step in if anything goes wrong, because unfortunately, if me or Lucy are doing any of our concerts, you can't cancel my show and send somebody on. But with this, the show literally does have to go on. So they're ready at any point in time to just quickly change into the outfit and do it. And they're fantastic to do that. It's amazing.
What happens to the Joe McElderry groupies, though, who come to see you?
Absolute pandemonium rage.
I've been fortunate, touch wood. I've been really well throughout the tour. And yeah, I've managed to kind of stay well enough so far, but it is a struggle. Lymph sips and all of that kind of stuff goes on.
And is it the first time for both of you to Northampton, to the theatre here?
It is.
Yeah, I've never been to Northampton before. Beautiful venue. It's a beautiful venue, and the audience were great last night. They were all up on their feet, dancing along and singing along and joining in, which was great.
That's what makes our job so worthwhile, when we see everyone up at the end. Absolutely.
It's one of them shows as well. You really need the audience participation. So if you get a great audience like last night, it was brilliant.
Well, people know the songs, don't they?
Exactly. And we do a huge medley at the end of the show, which kind of recaps the whole show in about 20 minutes. We sing everything again, but double the speed. It's like a dance remix, and everybody goes absolutely ballistic for it. Like, they're up, clapping along, singing along. We haven't had any people crashing the stage yet. I'm surprised that hasn't happened.
Does that happen?
Always time.
It's happened in my shows, but I thought when we did that medley, I thought maybe some Joseph fans would whack up on stage and start doing the colours with her, but nobody's not that I'm suggesting
No,
it.
well, I was going to say
now what you've just said, invited them on
Yeah, there's
stage.
such trouble now off the production company.
those people who've got tickets for tonight, Joe asked for you to get
not
up there.
say that. I'll get into so much trouble.
So before you go, give us the colours. Come on.
Oh my God.
It was red and yellow, green, brown, scarlet, black, ochre, peach, ruby, olive, violet, fawn, lilac, gold, chocolate, mauve, cream, crimson, silver, rose, azure, lemon, russet, grey, purple, white, pink, orange, blue.
Wow.
See, I did that without even thinking either. That rolls off my tongue now, which is scary.
Who even knew that ochre and russet were in there?
I would just like to point out that Lucy was actually looking at me there to see the colours.
Excuse me, I sing them before you.
She was lip reading, that's what you said. Wonderful. Well, Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, it is on at the Derngates all this week until Saturday. The box office number there is 01604 624 811, 01604 624 811. And as Joe says, you can get up on stage tonight and give him a hug. Thank you
I didn't
both.
see that.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.